what they do is play aggressive. I think if they just pick aggressive, they will do well.
So I'm going to decide right now, and you two guys, what does Navi have to do, or what do they have to pick to actually improve versus Fnatic?
They're really good adjusting to the play styles of the other team. So I think they'll adjust right now and beat the Fnatic right now.
Okay. Anything for you?
Maybe they should try be a bit more aggressive than they've been before. The Storm was more farming. He had was a bit unfortunate with the runes, so maybe a bit more for Bendy.
Okay. Well, that's it, and we're going back into the screen, and we're going to hand it up to the guys, and we're going to play with the heroes and just put them back in game. Okay? Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Bruno.
It's nice to see the beta testers coming into these events.
Yeah, they're cool guys.
They actually came here on their own as well. Like,
I don't think they wanted you to announce that they...
Yeah, probably not. I think they kind of avoided that. But
Yeah.
My bad.
And now we have a Wisp picked up by Fnatic. The first time...
A Wisp?
A Wisp. The first time we haven't seen Wisp banned.
You can't be secret forever,
Say that again.
people.
Wisp.
Wisp.
Wisp. Cool Wisp.
Don't. Just don't. But Fnatic, they get a hero that has insane map presence, which is really what they want. The only thing that I kind of question is they don't have the hero to partner it with yet. So is it going to be a Trixie on the Weaver? Because if it's a Trixie Weaver, then it makes more sense. Well, they could maybe end things up with like a CK or a Tiny.
I think they're just deciding right now, do we pick Tiny or do we pick CK?
What do you think, Toby?
I'm thinking Tiny. I'm thinking Tiny through and through.
But they don't need to pick him now. There's one ban left. Either one is good. There you go. They pick a Tony. Tony's good.
This is a point where, like, CK Wiz combination is always strong. Everyone's going to remember that one. But at the same time, you know Tiny, with one cleave, can take out both Windrunner as well as the Crystal Maid.
Definitely.
And I kind of always like having Tiny a lot more because, like, a CK, you've got to kill people directly. Where Tiny, you take out buildings. You just cleave down creep waves and you just keep on pushing in that way.
I think CK's pretty good at taking out buildings as well with his ult. And he doesn't need that many items to become incredibly
if he has
dangerous.
to use his ult to bring down buildings, you're kind of feeling pretty sad about life.
True. It's easy for Tony to just walk up and rock something. But
and something like a Windrunner, like you have Chaos Bolt, which will stop her in her tracks, but you still can't attack her for a little bit. But if you have Avalanche, if you have Toss, you can throw Windrunner around completely.
His combo is disgusting. That's true. How does he do against an OD though? Because does Tony suffer from mana issues, and if so, is OD going to suck his brains
out? The way
out?
that you typically build a Tiny is you see a lot of Treads drums, you see a lot of Rush Aghanims as well.
Yeah.
And the Aghanims gives you a lot of stats to the point where you're going to be able to use multiple combos in a fight. The only way he'll have mana issues is if he continually eats OD's Banish, which is not really likely because the heroes are probably not going to be versus each other in the laning phase. And the later the game goes, you're going to have things like Relocate and Tiny Damage, which is insane. You can actually use it to backdoor as it gets later because you will, on your own, out-damage backdoor protection. That's just how the hero functions.
Especially with the overcharge from Wisp as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, if we're going to have OD mid, you're saying you don't think we're going to see Tony Wisp mid?
Well, it is possible, but I'm saying in general, you don't see the Tiny versus the OD.
You wouldn't want to.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it. And it depends on what Fnatic's last pick is going to be. Because right now they have two supports, and maybe they have Hani's hero, maybe it's going to be a Weaver mid, or maybe they're going to last pick something just like I want to win against the OD and go like Razor. I mean, it is possible, but there aren't a lot of heroes in the game who can contest an OD 1v1.
He's a bugger. He is a bugger.
I'm surprised they...
You're surprised what?
What are you thinking?
Enlighten your surpriseness.
So eloquent.
Shut up.
Well, I'm surprised Invoker's banned out here by Puppey as the last one. Because Fnatic signaturely will want to run Wisp and Tiny in the middle lane. They'll want to run dual lanes there.
Right now
and that, in my mind, then puts Weaver and Venomancer up on the top lane. We just need an off-lane hero like a Bounty Hunter, which can give a little of extra vision. Someone that sets up for the Wisp and Tiny to global TP around the map and start destroying people. That's going to be the primary goal right now. So, yeah, I'm surprised with that last ban. And Slanna is going to be coming up here from Navi. Now, this one I really, really like. This allows for a lot of aggression. It means Windrunner moves into a supporting kind of role. But it means if they want to try and contest up this top lane, they can do so. You've got Frostbite, you've got Power Shot, you've got Slardar Crush, and with the mana change up on Slardar too, he can keep moving and be very, very aggressive across the map.
The one thing about Slardar, though, is against a lineup like Fnatic, if you accidentally pop Sprint in a bad situation, and you get stun toss comboed, you're dead. Like, the damage that you take with Sprint on, even 15%, doesn't sound like a lot. It's a lot. And then when you have Finger of Death on the other team as well coming out from Fnatic.
That is a dead CM.
Yeah. I mean, their potential for instantly taking a hero out of the fight is huge.
Yeah.
So for Havost, he's going to need to tank up a lot, especially if he wants to be on the front lines there with Fnatic. The synergy between these two heroes kind of makes me iffy about it, because when you have a Clockwork and a Slardar on the same team, you typically would want the Slardar to go blink. That way the Clockwork can do whatever he wants, and then you can just blink into the cogs if you feel like it's okay. But now, he is going to have to crush from the outside, which is kind of awkward, and you have to run in kind of weird angles to try to do something like that. So we'll see how it works out. I'm not saying that it's a bad pick by any means, because it's great when you want to take out a carry like Era really, really fast.
Yeah.
Because amplified damage is insane. Minus 10 armor at level 6. Like, no one even has 10 armor that early on. You just die.
Yeah. Does he have an Ags upgrade of some kind, Slardar?
Slardar, no. They should put it in Aghanims.
Need I say
affects
it, Andy?
buildings.
Need I say it?
It makes it rain on your buildings.
Not
and then
hero
you don't have any more armor.
Yeah.
At least now we'll get to see the Vanguard for the first time ever.
Maybe.
But maybe. Casual Cloak and Vanguard.
Yeah, we are inside the game now, so we're going to get to see how cool Havost Slardar looks. It's like, it's not even a trident anymore. It's like a club.
Yeah, that's like, actually there's a fish on the end of it, isn't there? Looks like he's skewered a fish.
It's the Sea Dragon's armor.
Oh, okay.
He's got the full set, man.
Very impressive.
Probably donated by somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, Fnatic are in a really good position right now. If Kuro walks, he put the ward down. He put the ward down.
Well, that was nice.
If Hani was a little bit closer towards the edge of that cliff right then, maybe the sun could have triggered out, but yeah.
That was a change pants moment right there. That was like, put ward. Oh, they're all here. Okay, I'm just going to casually not go that way.
It's the reason why you look up above the high ground before you go high ground.
That's why Windrunner wears brown trousers a lot of the time, I think.
But
He's wearing green
look
today.
at the wall placing here from Kuro. Like, we got one that's watching over the top rune, and then you got another one that's just up watching that movement in from the middle lane. So with this kind of vision on the map, you kind of wonder, like, okay, are we just waiting for the rotation to come from both Fly as well as from No Tail? Because I'm not really feeling that rotation coming. It's going to be a movement around Trixie. Yeah. Stay away from that DD to Vorst. Vorst, you can't dive in that deep, man, even if it is just a solo offlane Trixie. Yeah, but I'm just wondering what the purpose of that warding was. Like, what was it searching out for? Are they waiting for a Fnatic rotate? Because I'm not feeling Fnatic's rotation anytime soon.
It's a bit surprising that Fnatic picked like a Venomancer and Tiny. Even with a Wisp, it feels like, okay, you might not want to go aggressive, but because you have the Veno to back it up, it's still not that bad of a lane. And Spirits do a pretty huge chunk of damage, even at level 2. It's 50 per Spirit, and you have 5 of them, so 250 potential damage from that. It's just about getting the first couple of levels. And we are seeing the Clockwork Windrunner offlane from Navi, which is more or less impossible to kill. We've kind of just decided that. It's like, okay, these heroes just don't die. So they're going to be able to freely soak experience here, and they can contest the pole whenever they want. The other kind of nice thing that Navi has going for them is because the ward went down from Navi first, Fnatic warded into the top river as well, and it just gets immediately dewarded. So now they only have vision on that high ground, and they can't see the rune anymore, which is a bit of a bummer for Hani. Because up against an OD, he's going to want the rune control.
Also want to point out that bottom lane too. Trixie's already burnt through a large portion of his consumables. Like, he's got one salve as well as two tango charges left. But Avors was able to get himself a crush off. Obviously, with a setup from Puppey, it's just too easy to control up Trixie and force him back. You see Puppey doing it again. Just Frostbite's up, wants to whittle away at Trixie's regeneration. And Puppey, doesn't matter if he takes damage here. He makes space for Avors, who at this point, I don't think he's missed a single creep on this lane. He's 8 for 8 right now on this bottom lane.
Yeah, it's kind of expected though. Like, if you're getting total free farm, Trixie has yet to hit a creep. He's 0 and 0, so he's definitely not contesting the lane, even in the least. And Puppey is continuing to do the right thing, which is just force him even out of experience range, which is a tall order for just a support. But Havos is doing a nice job of his aggressive posturing. He always walks forward when Trixie starts to trade. Otherwise, your support's going to eventually lose the 1v1 fight. So, all in all, just really nice lane control so far from Navi in the bottom lane.
I like this little build coming out from Hani. I was wondering if he's going to attempt to do this, knowing Imprisoment's really going to distract you a lot. But he put 2 points up into the mana drain. So his main goal right now is to make sure that he doesn't have enough mana to use Natural Imprisonment to trigger off his Essence Aura.
Yeah, because it has such a low mana cost, he'll always be able to use it. Right. Even if he has 1 intelligence, he'll still be able to use that spell.
Why? How much mana cost does it have?
10.
Oh,
10.
wow.
Yeah. So no matter what, he'll always be able to cast it. And if he levels it first, then especially once it gets maxed.
He's in trouble. This could be first blood. He got the Frostbite off just quick enough, and Avors put down the sprint. Wanting to trace after Trixie. But that's what you gotta be careful with Crystal Maiden. She's very, very easy to kill off a no-tail. He's also not really that strong. Kuro, he's got 1 point up in the power shot. There's your tether away, and the power shot.
God, that ran out just in time.
That animation actually looked kind of right to hit just then, but the tether away will save him.
Let's just remember the Keeper of the Light Blast animation back before they changed it. And you would get hit like 400 range away from it. So animations in this game, not always accurate.
True.
Let's just say that.
True. Even like those little circles you can draw around, like you look at the Bane ulti every now and then.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
like
meant to be the range, isn't it? No.
10,000 range
Or
grip.
Trixie. Trouble. He's frostbitten up Avors. He's not going to get there fast enough. Again, he doesn't trigger the sprint, which is kind of surprising considering it costs nothing.
Well, I mean, what does it get him? He's going to be able to walk at him 20% faster. It's not going to really make him get the kill in any situation. He's got 2 points in his Shikuchi, so every 10 seconds he can just go max move speed and just get the heck out, basically.
This middle lane also, we're now seeing Hani very rapidly approaching his level 6. And with that, Denny's got to be very, very fearful. Like a full mana Hani, we're going to look at stuns, we're going to look at hexes, right-click damage, and then Finger of Death. And that's enough to kill off Dendy.
Yeah.
Level 1 Finger is one of the scariest abilities in the game because it's almost a guaranteed kill.
Yep.
If you land a stun, the hero can
top
die
lane.
top.
Avalanche toss is going to go on Fnatic with the tether in as well. The power shot from Kuro trying to help out Fnatic. Almost able to do enough damage to kill off Era. And Era, well, he's being healed up by No-Tail. And they're going to keep going now on to Kuro with another toss into the air. There's going to be a double kill for Fnatic up on that top lane. And they're looking sexy good right now.
And this is the kind of start that we're looking for. This is one of those lanes we were saying, okay, this lane shouldn't really die. But Fnatic and Kuro were kind of split up there. They weren't standing near each other. The cogs, they didn't really do anything there. And they were just getting a bit too over-aggressive. But Fnatic, man, he pops a battery assault. He wants revenge. He's like, I just died. Fly is basically at no health. He doesn't even have enough for a Gale at this point. So I think Fnatic and Kuro will be fine for the time being. But those 2 kills, especially going to Era of all people, who up until this point, he wasn't getting that much farm. He's got 16 CS compared to Havos 30.
Yeah.
So he needed those kills to stay at least on equal terms in farm.
What do you think he's going to buy, by the way?
Ags, straight rush.
It's usually like Treads Ags or Treads Drums Ags. Some progression like that.
You don't think he'll get a Midas?
Well,
considering the fact he hasn't sent the courier over to pick up the point booster yet.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
The problem that I have with Midas on Tiny is that he's a hero who benefits greatly from stats, and it is actually going to be a Midas. But
I told you.
I really think that like just treads into point booster or just straight Aghanims is really solid because you don't have to build a BKB necessarily because the items that you usually make just give you a huge chunk of health. So you have 20 or 2,000 HP basically by the time you have your base items.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Would you rather have...
I'd put your question on hold, man. We've got the stun already on Puppy. The Finger of Death just destroys the Crystal Maiden. And now the Bug's also onto a Vorce. They're going to body block it up. Trixie, the Hex will now follow up. Hani, he'll have a stun up in 2 seconds time, and a Vorce stuck around. He lets it off, but the Bug is still whittling it away. And then the both attacks from Fnatic will get a kill, and Hani now gets a double kill. Kuro's coming up towards the top lane, but now Fly's going to see him. They throw Fly in close. He needs to hit this Gale on Kuro, and he got him. The wards go down, so it's another double slow coming out of Kuro. Quick power shot. Fnatic comes in close, but now he's in way too close. He's going to get slowed up. Then he gets the imprisonment off Fnatic. He can possibly cog this one up. With an ulti out from Dendy, they will get the kill on the Venomancer, but they won't get No-Tail as well. He tethers back up again. Era, he's got Avalanche. Now with a follow-up toss, they get the clockwork. So Era now, with his second double kill of the game, but a Vorce has moved off this bottom lane, come up towards the top. Tether, 1 second, 1 second. No-Tail, he's up on the high ground. And away to safety. So Slider rotates up and doesn't get a kill for his efforts.
Era is getting all of these kills too, which is huge. He's 4-0 right now at 7 minutes in.
Yep.
Wow.
He's got his Midas as soon as he walks to the side shop,
There
and
it
an
is.
additional 400 gold.
Money,
so
money, money,
he'll
money,
have
money,
his
money.
treads pretty much straight after he gets the Midas, which is really big because you want the increased durability of having the extra strength, and of course it gives him damage too. So brilliant start from Fnatic so far, and with that lane doing as well as it is, the relocate's going to be coming in faster. They didn't even get no tail for that.
Yeah.
That's like an absolute heartbreak if you're Navi, because not only did Dendi come from mid, but Havost came from safe lane farming to go up there and try to get a kill.
So my question was going to be, yes, Havost is farming well, but a farmed Slardar versus a farmed Tiny, I would put my money on Tiny.
Well, it's like the anti-carry is what Slardar is. Because Amplify damage against a Tiny, he has 1 armor. The first rank of Amplify puts you at -9 armor. You just die so incredibly fast to just auto attacks because of that hero. And honestly, with your team backing you up, I would say that Slardar probably has a bit of an advantage, at least in the early game.
Trixie's got Puppy.
But in the late game,
Easy movement.
then you've got a Weaver to worry about.
Yeah, and the later the game goes, Puppy's going to drop here.
Well,
Nothing really his team can do about it. But when it does get to that point, the Tiny and the Weaver will edge out the Slardar for sure.
Kuro!
That damage.
Yeah.
it's like you were saying.
Like the Wisp Spirits you can be prepared for. Having one of your creeps just being thrown at you in that kind of manner, and then having that much damage come out too, because you've already got your combination from Era sitting at a 3-4 combination, so it's 4 on the toss. And heroes like Winra just can't survive that. She's already had to back off here. And what's Fnatic going to do? There goes your toss again. Your Spirit range harassment. And then they just use the bottle charges. Everyone gets mana again, and they just keep going and going and going.
I'm really worried about Navi's mid-game because this is another one of those drafts that doesn't really have a whole lot of comeback mechanics. It's kind of like we either win the game by around 25, 30 minutes, or we turtle it out and eventually get choked out by the fact that Fnatic have a lot of split push.
Bottom lane's dead. Like Trixie, oh wow, wow. If he doesn't have any levels up in Bash, so we can't control him at all, so now he's used the crush, and then boom! Honey was just waiting in the wings.
Sprint, man. Sprint can be like your best friend and your worst enemy.
Yeah.
The damage that he took from that combo, ouch.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Trixie Bayer that. He can't know if a Vorce has Bash or not, and if he was just playing like the whole gamble kind of thing. Because if Trixie got Bash, then he was dead.
If he does have Bash, though, it's only level 1. So the odds are still in his favor. I know what you're saying. Like, if he RNG'd him, he could have killed him.
Yeah.
But calculated risk.
It's the 1 second Bash duration, which would have bought him just enough time to attack once more.
Yeah. I can just feel this game slipping really quickly for Navi.
Yeah.
They still have really good farm in terms of CS, but because they're losing the lanes and they're transitioning so much to try to compensate, they're still not getting anything. They've gotten 1 kill. They're going to find Fly, though.
Yeah, it's a good hook shot in. Fly just to night up the DD rune. You'll get the Gale off at least on Fnatic. So if someone does want to rotate, like we've got No-Tail and Era moving down right now, and Hani comes in. He doesn't have Finger of Death, but he's got more than enough control to keep Fnatic there. Now the tether comes in from No-Tail, so ball, and Fnatic down with his 1 charges does keep himself alive for the moment, and he has to keep those cogs there and then toss.
That's secure, man.
He threw a crystal ball at him. That's going to hurt.
It's one of those things
They're heavy.
It's one of those things you play with your kids because it was tethered at the same time. Like you put the pole and you attach the tennis ball.
This
it's
is
like bouncing around.
A swing ball or something, I think.
Yeah. It's probably gone by many names, being rebranded multiple times. Made me think of that.
I'm sorry.
How dare you?
To the makers of swing ball or
How
whatever
dare you
it is.
invoke memories? That can't be a thing. The game plan for Navi right now is basically buy a little bit of time for Dendi, see if he can get something up like a BKB or maybe a Force Staff, maybe even a mech. His team really needs a support item right now because like the last couple of games, I can understand skipping the mech, but this game they really do need it. Otherwise, they're just going to get eaten alive by the damage output of Fnatic's lineup. They have so much burst, they have so much lockdown, and the problem is they also have split push. Because once Era gets up his Aghanims, he can just run to a lane, farm it with No-Tail, and the rest of the team can be somewhere else. And heck, Trixie can be on his own, just doing whatever, just pushing another lane. And the only initiator they have right now is Fnatic.
Yeah.
And the Slardar is not going Blink because he needs a BKB.
On another day, I think Fnatic hits that hook shot.
Yeah.
He's missed a few today.
I think we're about to go on a trip to bottom lane, peoples.
It could be.
Yeah. because I'm just watching Havorst down here. Trixie was waiting in the wings the entire time, and No-Tail.
They're going to do it again?
It's there's no reason why you can't. Like, Ahani's Finger of Death is off cooldown.
I
want to
don't
find a
think
kill.
Havorst will go for it again. He must realize the lion's missing.
Yeah.
He's just going to go.
Yeah, Navi realized that they assemble 4 on top. Then he can just handle himself in mid. Because he needs his space anyway. He just cracks level 11. He's running out of mines, and now Hani. Wisp ulti in the middle lane, they'll come. So stun on Dendy. Finger of Death will be used as well. I don't know if that was really needed, but either way.
Feels good, man.
It does.
I think it's fine, because...
Where's the ping? Where's the ping? Oh, this is really nicely set up from Navi. Havorst is a double crush up from the top lane. The Shackle will fly as well. It holds Era in position, and Navi finally gets something back with the avalanche and the toss. It's a huge amount of damage, and Trixie, the bugs will fly out. It lashed on Funnick. That's Funnick's death. He pops the cogs off, so at least he'll keep Trixie there a little bit longer. Havorst as well as Kuro have gone east where the skies are not blue. As far away as possible, Trixie's trying to catch up to them. He just brought up his hand of Myers, by the way, for getting that kill, and he's in. There's the damage on Havorst. Does he try and crush this? He's not quite sure. Damage on the Kuro. In comes the Venomancer. He'll take out Kuro, and the Genuine attack and the lane attack from Lion will ensure they pick up the rest of Navi on the top.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you always carry TPs. Because when you don't have TPs, you can't actually get out of the woods when you do that.
Era was just able to get that avalanche off. That damage was insane.
Just imagine if he had the full combo at once.
Yeah.
It's because when you toss somebody in the air, that person takes significantly more if you have the avalanche with it. So, all things considered, they lost Era, but they kill basically everyone on the side of Navi for it. So not too bad.
Also notice too, like the way Era builds into that. Like, he survived for so long because he didn't rush up the Aghanim Scepter. He ended up building up drums, strength treads, still has the casual stout shield on there as well. He's going to go for a little bit more of a later... You're still going to see Aghanims, it's tiny. You're never going to skip Aghanims. But he's just delaying it a little bit longer until probably the Weaver is also ready to fight.
The movement speed from the drums is really nice, and the stats, obviously very good for that just one inventory slot. And as soon as he gets rid of that stout shield, the next item he buys is going to be a point booster. Then he has like 700 mana, almost 1700 health, and then he becomes very difficult to deal with just on his own. We saw how long it took Navi to kill him, even with No-Tail relocating back into 3 heroes. Yeah. Like, he took so long to die.
It's also good of Navi to find out where he TP'd out from, because they didn't have any kind of vision of where that was. That's why it looked like the prediction was perfect from Havorst coming in. It's like, oh, look for the ball.
Just looking at the net worth here, and Tony is on top comfortably, even though he's you know, not doing awesomely on farm. It's all those kills. What's his score? 5-1-2. That is nice.
Yeah, and as long as No-Tail is near him, they can be at any action anywhere on the map. There's no fight, basically, that they can't go to. Yep. And since the Tiny's combo damage is still very relevant,
now bring him in.
That damage, wow.
Luckily, Windrun helps him out. Yeah, the bug will kill him off. They've got to get rid of that bug. He's in range of the tower, but Trixie comes in for one last attack. And then Time launches back out. So he dived in deep. He finds a kill. He now goes 3-1-4 on the Weaver, and that Hand of Midas just keeps going and going and going.
And another Hand of Midas. This time it's on Navi, though.
Yeah, this time it's on Puppy.
Hey, man, when you're behind, you buy a Midas.
That's what he said.
And when you're ahead,
you buy a Midas.
You buy a Midas because you could be behind. I think that was actually something along the lines of what he said.
He said money rules the game. That's what he said.
Well, Honey's about to claim a lot more of it on this bottom lane. He's already picked up a Blink Dagger now.
Yeah.
So you got a quick jump
and level 2 ulti. Level 2 ulti is huge because it's a minute off the cooldown.
Yeah.
So instead of almost every 3 minutes, now it can do it every minute and a half. And then when he gets level 16, it's going to be every 40 seconds.
I'm wondering if it's even worth him going the Aghanim Scepter in this one. Havorst, Blink, and now they're bringing in help. Can he hold off on the ulti this time around? You got Avalanche and Toss. Yeah, he didn't need to use it this time. He also didn't have mana to use it this time around.
That is a dead slaughter. Holy moly.
Yeah, and I love the build that Honey's doing too, because he's maxing mana drain. The new Hex is really nice. Yeah, kill on mid. Fly ends up dropping here, so it looks like it's going to be a tier 1 for a tier 1 trade. But just having 1 point into Hex being 2.5 seconds is so huge. Yeah. Because before, Lion was so level dependent that there were really no variance in skill builds. It was always you get Hex and you get Impale. You never really got mana drain.
And it was tough as well to find out where you're going to lane him, because if you didn't put him on his own...
Jump in mid. Look at that double TP's come in. Funnick locks himself in the cogs. They try to use the imprisonment to set up, and Hani, remember, he's still got Blink Dagger as well as his ulti there. And he doesn't mana for it again. He's short again. Puppey throws down the ultimate, and Hani, he's not looking too early from this one. They finally bring down Puppey, but Avos gets a crush. It's over on No Tail, so you at least get one kill, but it's only on the Wisp. But Era, in range of the tower, he's dying from the urn, throws down, and actually tosses Avos in even deeper into trouble. Right on top of Trixie, that Venomancer ulti really stalling up most of Navi's movements. While Kuro, he runs east, may as well use that Hand of Mines before he dies right now. In fact, that's exactly what he does. Accepts his fate and just dies with a little bit of extra move.
That's a team wipe.
That is.
It is.
And the tier 1 goes down in favor of Fnatic, so they're looking fantastic here in game number 2. They haven't missed a beat. This game was not even a bad early game for them. Last game you could say, okay, yeah, the laning phase could have went better. This game, they're doing great in the laning phase, they're doing great in the mid game. Navi just don't have anything to fight back right now.
You're right. You're right. The initiation comes from Fnatic, the jump around comes from Fnatic, but this is what we always knew was going to happen when you let Wisp and Tiny through. The hilarious thing is the fact that Wisp got picked up in the 3rd selection.
Yeah.
It wasn't even banned out in the 2nd phase of the bans from Navi. But it just goes to show the reason why every time you face up against Fnatic, you ban Wisp and you ban Prophet. You can't let them have map control like they have right now.
I believe they did that in the first game, didn't they?
Yeah.
They banned those exact 2 heroes in the first two.
Exactly those heroes. Every team that's been playing up against Fnatic will ban those 2 heroes.
And now Era, he finishes up the tree. It's not really a scepter when it's just a giant tree that you wield. He's got it in his stash now, so all he needs to do is send it to himself. And then the crazy split-pushing Tiny begins, where even if Navi take a good fight, Era doesn't even have to commit to it if they're not engaging on those 2, which is typically the strategy that most teams would have employed way back when Wisp was very commonly picked, is you don't pick a fight with the other heroes. You always pick the fight with the Wisp and the other hero. That way you know you're not going to get relocated on. So now it's up to Navi. Can they actually get anything going for themselves here? They need BKBs, and they need them badly. Havost is close. He's still about 600 and some change away from his.
Oh, he's a little bit too late to actually amplify that. He's in trouble. Wisp Boldy's on the way in. They use Finger of Death, and there's your Avalanche. Right in. He was trying to get the amplification out in Trixie.
They've got so much burst damage. It's disgusting.
Yeah, Tiny combo and Finger of Death. No hero basically lives through that.
There's your Aghanim stepping up and running. Here in Clockwork Hook. It's down the bottom lane. Hani's the one who's trapped in here. But then again, he's surviving for a long time. Shackle is up. And this is no help. With the ulti down right now for Wisp, he can't bring the extra support. And Trixie had to bail back out again.
It was a nice move. They managed to get a kill streak from that too. So it's another 700 gold going the way of Puppey. Which, I mean, maybe it would have been better to get somebody besides the support the gold. But hey, a kill's a kill. Breaking the streak is still important. And they were able to utilize the ulti of No Tail not being up. Like they knew, hey, they just relocated to kill Havost. We know we can go on this and not have to worry about any immediate counter game.
Well, we got coming out now, Courier. We got Ogre Clubs coming down for Trixie now. So Trixie building into his BKB. Getting pretty damn close to that one as well, but he's getting even closer towards Kuro. With the Invis rune too, he may consider, yeah, he does. Shikuchi down, it's just a battle of the foot race. And then, well, Bugs as well going to come in this fight. And the Courier also here, but Kuro's going to die underneath the tower. Shackle will fly, it does latch. Shackle. Trixie will just time lapse out all the damage which he just took. Maybe not all of it, but a large portion of it.
I just think it's pretty funny that a Midas Treads Weaver is tower diving heroes. I don't know if that's just me, but typically you don't see that.
Not just tower diving, but actually being successful to get these kills.
Like he got the kill, and no one on the side of Navi even tried to TP to help him.
You know, the other problem that the Navi are going to have is that because of that burst damage from
Fnatic. Oh, Hani. Middle lane. Denny's toast. Avalanche toss. Oh, wow, Hani. Again, it's one of those moments where you just question, like, do you need to use the finger?
Yes.
Again, I suppose with...
Always. Killing with the finger is the most fun thing.
It's like killing somebody with an axe cull, you know?
It's like being the Emperor in
but with that culling blade, you kill somebody with that, it's like, oh, hey, they're cool now. Hey.
Yeah, but it didn't
always cool.
Yeah. It didn't always do that.
I'd cull Roshan if I can.
Could you imagine that for line? Every time you get a kill with your Finger of Death, it comes back off cooldown.
Do you remember when the Finger of Death Aghanims was it would bounce to another target?
Did
like
it?
200 range? It was like for one patch.
They were like, what are we doing?
Well, the thing is, you have to be so close. Like 200 range is barely longer than melee.
True.
So the heroes have to be either in a black hole, right? Or you just have to get insanely lucky.
It's still disgusting. I don't want to see it.
Oh.
I think the new Aghanims is maybe arguably even better, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because a 20-second cooldown on a nuke that hits for 1,000.
Yeah, but it does
on a
cost
hero.
lot.
Yeah, but then you got your third ability. You just mana drain.
Yeah,
you
he
mana
gets it all
drain
back.
straight back up.
Yeah.
All you need is like one range creep to be sitting there. It's like, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's like the new Pugna Aghanims.
Yeah.
You keep sucking. No matter what, you're
that's
just...
Pugna Aghanim.
I was wondering, man, if this was going to bring back, like, when the change did come in with the Aghanim to buff up, like, nobody really used it all. I thought we were going to see the return of, like X-Solo mid, even though I know he will never return to that role. But it would have been such a great thing, man. The Blink Dagger just jump in initiation from Lion. It used to be core back in, like, 2010.
Maybe we'll see the return of Lion mid now that his Hex has gotten a significant buff. I mean, it really is a big deal. When you only have a 1-second disable and it scales by 0.5 every level,
Yeah.
it's like, do you really want to invest the points into that? Because mana drain is ridiculously good for laning.
Yeah.
You can bully a lot of heroes. You can spam your Impale to make sure that you can just get runes and such, which is really important against heroes like OD.
Also, someone like a Skeleton King or someone like that relies on having a bit of mana knocking around.
Yeah, but we haven't seen Skeleton King in competitive play.
No, that's true.
Ever since Complexity was on their like 13 win streak or whatever it was, like ages ago. Like
Weren't you the man
TI2.
saying that Skeleton King was going to be like the new guy?
He could have been.
Actually,
but
no,
then
sorry, no, it was Hani that said that. You were the one that said Dazzle was going to be the new pick.
I wanted Dazzle to be
Yeah.
the new guy.
That's literally you can't be, man.
Dazzle
Why
is
do you
so
like
good.
Dazzle?
He's,
Poison Sting,
I
Poison
hate that
Touch
hero.
change.
he's so good. He got kind of a similar buff that Lion did, and that all his skills now are totally viable at level 1. Whereas before, Poison Touch was just awful until level 3. It just didn't do anything. So you either commit to a build where you do nothing with like
free
any
gold!
support. Oh yeah, Trixie.
Free gold! Oh wait, Ghost Scepter.
Wow, he backs.
That's all that money went to.
I would have went for it, man. You got a BKB, like you get that kill.
You also saw Puppy. The second he thought he was going to die, he instantly bought the gem.
Yeah.
Make sure you save every little bit of money you got.
It's like, I might die, but the next time I'm going to see you coming.
Yeah.
BKB is the choice of item coming out from Denny right now.
It has to be a BKB. I mean, really, what else could he get? There's so much stun on the side of Fnatic between Hex.
At the same time, there's so
Fail.
much physical damage too. Like, you got Era swinging that tree. He's doing 245 damage with +3. For every
That +3, man.
Yeah.
That makes it.
Huge. With every single hit. He is just destroying everything. And then he's got Mana Style as well. What you want to try and do, lock him in with an amplified damage. Mana then just triggers. And then you got Weaver.
What is the +3 from?
The +3?
Yeah.
It's
It's the drums.
I actually had to think about that for a
Yeah.
second. I was like, wait a minute. Bracers give damage. I know that. What did he use the
+3
bracer
damage.
on? Yeah.
Gee,
It
thanks.
keeps the +3 damage from the bracer when you make the drums.
All right, bottom lane. They're on the way. Wisboldy's going to be coming in. I can hear it over on the side. Trixie just yelling at TP here.
Yeah.
But they leave Era as well as No Tail on the top. They realize that there's just going to be a tier 2 tower on the top. Fnatic just stall up the push or the fight in the bottom lane. Or just not take it. And the trade is fully the way of Fnatic for this.
Well, what do they do? I mean, if they commit to the fight, this is why I was saying you always want to fight where the Wisp is.
Era. He'll turn and fight that one. Avalanche on Denny. Keep him far enough away. Force off him, but Denny, he actually auto-attacked back down the hill again. So he did get the imprisonment off Kuro. He's in a good position for a shackle. Oh, wow. The pull-out from No Tail. He takes Era towards the bottom lane. No Tail will sacrifice himself here. It's going to be 2 tier 2 towers for the price of a Wisp.
I'll sing Tales of Your Valor, No Tail. Don't worry.
For the cause! Yeah, he's dead.
It was worth it, though. I mean,
Yeah, fully.
if he doesn't relocate there, Era potentially gets caught too. Then you lose your Aegis. Then you don't have really as strong of a team fight the next time around. If he relocates, they get the tier 2 tower, no contention, because 3 heroes from Navi are already top, and they can't get back bottom in time. And the glyph was used. So it's like really, really nice communication and play, just overall from Fnatic so far.
Mid-fight now coming in, Hani. He just jumps on a Vorce. There's your Avalanche and toss, but it's a good imprisonment. It's going to buy time for a Vorce to survive this, but then again, Hani sitting on the back end. He's got Finger of Death, but Vorce with the BKB attacking on fly. Now the Venomancer ulti going off of Vorce. It's so summon Era, just cleaving him up with the big branch in his hand. Trixie going to go in deeper as well. He already got the pick up on the clockwork. Now he's going to go for Puppy. Shackle latches to the tree line while he's in range of the tower. Life not looking good for him. While Denny able to force stuff away, but Hani follows him in. One more attack. Imprisonment. Tries to save him from any kind of hit. The Venomancer was not going to make life easy. Denny, he can't force off. He can't do anything. He binds his BKB, but does die up next to his own secret shop.
That Force Staff. Dendy was like, I'm totally going to be a... Oh, crap. You just get that sinking feeling whenever you're playing and you think that you had a really nice escape and the guy just follows you right after and you're like, man, life is hard. And it's still a nice move to be able to imprison and get his BKB.
Puppy's toast. Absolute toast. Hani jumped himself in perfectly too. He managed to get most of his mana back, which he expended during that fight. Whoa, 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 whoa. Fnatic. Everyone's now outside of your cogs and you're the only one inside. 4-star back down again. The gem is still in the deck.
No glyph, man. No glyph.
Yep, they used it.
This
on
is
the
right.
tier 2 bot.
This could even be double racing right now, because OD's not back up again. Fnatic will probably give him the respect and just fall back. But while there's still the Aegis,
they're going to go top.
Aegis gets reclaimed in 3 seconds, so...
Yeah. I think it would be the safe thing to do, to just go back at this point.
Those creeps ate a shackle.
Kuro was really praying, because the shackle obviously has a hero priority for what it's going to latch onto, but it was just far enough to the side Trixie that he didn't get done.
The thing that's really terrifying is Era's just going to have a full AC done, and there's a Vlad's. There's a Vlad's picked up on No Tail as well, so they get the double armor aura, and it does stack. So now everyone on the side of Fnatic is looking that much tankier. Now all of a sudden, amplified damage doesn't feel that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like armor counters minus armor, not the other way around.
It also doesn't help too. Like, well, it's like, okay, you take away the armor, but you've got people getting so much. Like, even Venomancer's on his way to an Aghanim Scepter. This guy's getting a lot of life points. Well, we're going for a bit of a trip right now, and it's over towards Dendy on the top. The Finger of Death will be thrown out by Lion just to ensure the kill on the OD.
Did anyone else hear that, like, giggle of absolute just... That was a maniacal giggle that I just heard from Fnatic's team when that happened.
This is now just going to be a movement in. Actually, they don't even need to again. Again, it's just you can wait it out. You keep picking off the OD. He's not getting anything. These Hanamiases from Navi, they're getting a little bit of money, but it's nowhere near. Like, the gold per minute is 771 gold per minute right now for this Tiny. And it's just increasing. 505 for the Weaver is number 2. And then the third one, you finally hit Dendy at 410. The money is just rolling in for Fnatic at such a quick rate that Navi can't keep up with it. They haven't taken a single tier 1 tower on this map right now. So they've got no bonus gold coming out from all of this.
The thing is, Fnatic have played with real confidence from the get-go, and their movement around the map throughout these finals has been superb.
I just feel as though the laning phase from Navi, like you saw what they were doing, 2 lanes should have won. Honestly, the Windrunner Clockwork should have been able to keep the tri-lane of Fnatic at bay pretty easily, just by virtue of not dying.
Yep.
And earlier in the game, we were looking at the CS and we're like, okay, Havost has double the CS of Era. But then Fnatic started getting kills.
Yep.
If those kills didn't happen, then you would have had an underfarm Tiny, and you would have had a Slardar who potentially would have had a BKB at a point where he would have been able to just go in and do his own thing. Havost had to leave his lane to help other places. That is not what you want to have to do. And not only that, but he died doing it. So a lot of this, I think, is kind of on the off lane, because if those heroes just stayed alive, everyone else was already pressured in their lanes hard enough to the point where Havost would have had all the room in the world.
I also think the fact that a lot of those kills were the Era got them.
Yeah.
Like in the last game, the Weaver got them. So it was like, okay, well, maybe you're not farming as hard, but it doesn't matter. Have a shitload of gold anyway.
Speaking of a shitload of gold, Hani just finished up his Aghanim Scepter.
Ags, AC, Manta, drums, treads.
And 4,500 gold.
Yeah.
Just casually. I think he could start giving out loans, honestly.
And your satellite moon Wisp is orbiting around you with...
Navi, they're in trouble. There's going to be bugs coming out from Trixie, and it's already on 4 of the heroes. Funny, he hookshots himself down, but look at that ulti right on top of Avos, but he got a good crush. No Tail low on life, but the ulti from CM, not enough to drop him. Even the OD ulti wasn't enough to kill him off at the end of the day. One shot just helped him off. There's TPs going back to base. Both Fnatic and Kuro will escape. But they just lost 2 of their cores, and Fnatic will make a beeline for that top rack.
Look at that long ranger from Lion. Yeah, eat it.
Havost didn't even BKB there. He had to have seen the relocate. As soon as you see the Weaver, he throws out the swarm. You see the relocate on the map. It's like a red kind of warning, nuclear launch detected kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And he just didn't BKB. And then he's called a GG.
Took 31 minutes and 40 seconds to do so. But Fnatic, they are now 2 games to 0 up in this best of 5 and 1 win away from getting themselves into that grand final right here at DreamHack.
Another really impressive performance. This one for me was even better than game number 1. I feel like there was no real wrench thrown into the works. They kind of just had a game plan from the get-go.
Yep.
They executed well. Trixie in the off lane, he got a lot of relief due to the fact that Havos had to leave his lane and try to help out other places. Dendi kind of suffered from the same thing. So much emphasis on this draft for Navi was on the top lane just staying alive and just being annoying and spamming cogs and stopping those kills from happening. And as soon as Era gets those kills, he goes from kind of mediocre farm to, oh my god, he has so much farm. Help us. I mean, that's how I felt.
I don't think anything could have helped them, man.
Yeah.
Nothing could have helped them after that point. This was Fnatic playing their style, their way, and Navi trying to, like, I'm not even quite sure what they're going for.
I don't think it was a bad draft. Like, if I'm speaking totally objective here,
yeah,
you could see why they wanted to pick those heroes. If the Slardar gets a BKB, say for instance, the Clockwork and the Windrunner, they don't die at all. They stay in the lane.
Yep.
Era continues to stay at roughly half, maybe a little bit more of CS than Havos.
Yep.
Then the Slardar has a BKB, treads, and maybe gets a Blink Dagger after the fact. Then you have a really strong counter-initiation hero who can actually threaten a Tiny and just amp him, and then all of a sudden he feels very weak. Because the build-up to what Tiny normally gets is just HP. There's no armor involved until you get after the Aghanims. So I feel like it could have been very successful just as easily as it could have failed.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Slardar, though, is so risky.
I particularly didn't like him in that lineup because even though what you say is correct, Tiny has low armor, Weaver, you can get very squishy. No other hero really benefited from the minus armor. You have OD, which is a huge damage dealer, but most of his damage is magic/pure damage. So it didn't have another hero to actually make the punch. And then again, you put Clockwork in between, and you have the same problem that you have last game, where you have a melee hero that wants to deal damage, and a Clockwork zoning out other people. So it really didn't work as well for me.
Well, either way, Fnatic on a roll here. 2 wins out of 2 games. They only need 1 more to secure their spot in the grand finals, and they're a hard team to take down when they're on a roll. So Navi really need to take the time in the break to kind of recoup and think about how they're going to come back and win 3 games. They have to win 3 in a row to actually win this out. So we'll see if they can do it, all that and more after the break here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague.
It's time to extend your domination. Extend your command precision with an 8200 DPI Pro Aim R3 laser sensor. Extend your atmospherics with a fully customizable 4 LED multicolor lighting system with effects. Extend the life and accuracy of your gaming with the Rocket Titan wheel. The Cone XTD Max Customization Gaming Mouse.
not really dyed, the eyebrows aren't. Yeah, like these. I was listening to dubstep before a lot of you were wearing diapers, alright? Which means before you were born!
All right, we're back, and actually the players are back and just sat down, but before we get into the could be the final game, we're going to take a look at some of the replays, and here we have Kuroki having a shit time.
Funny comes and they just get around fly right now. That Venomancer is going to die because he has no mana, no anything, but it doesn't clip No-Tail, the ultimate. It should have hit No-Tail, but it doesn't. And now Slaughter will come as well, I think, here. There's another teleport. Yeah, Slaughter comes, and again, he misses No-Tail just barely with the stun. And No-Tail is going to say bye-bye.
One of the best Wisps out there. One of the best supports out there, No-Tail, really.
Definitely.
Just not on tanking, as we've mentioned, but otherwise, he's really good.
Why are you going to be a hater, James?
Not a hater.